The Hondas won again today, and so did the Toyotas, but we thought that it wasn't NASA, we thought that it was somebody else. Stage 4 of Dakar 2002, and I'm joined in the studio by Andrew Horn. Before we get to him, greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers and others, and the Andrew Horn dog.
How are you doing, Colin?
Fabulous. Great that you could make it back from where you were.
Nice
and you were right on the southern tip of Africa, where we find Stephie Visser from the Southern African Dakar group. Stephie, great to have you with us again. What a day on the bikes.
Hello, Colin. Hello, Andrew. So good to see you in studio. What a day on the bikes. There is so much to talk about. It was Heartbreak Alley, it was Hondas, it was Shirkos throwing their name and getting into the mix. Cannot wait. We've got an action-packed show. Let's go.
Yeah, well, let's go. Let's go straight to Saudi Arabia, straight to the Bivouac in Riyadh at the moment, the same place they're going to be for 4 days, and speak to today's 14th place stage finisher, captain of the 253 Century CR6, Chris Visser. Chris, thank you very much for joining us. We know the hearing and the sound is a little bit of an issue, but I'm sure that we will find our way through this thing. How was your stage today, Chris?
Good evening, Colin. It was very good. We started this morning, obviously it was a 450 kilometer special. So the first 170 kilometers was quite fast, but it was very rough and undulated. So yeah, the car was just unbelievable this morning. And then we went into a large patch of dunes, and I must say it was quite big dunes. So yeah, we're losing a little bit of time. The two-wheel drive losing a little bit of time in the dunes and the soft stuff. But then we got onto the hard packs again, and it was quite rocky. So unfortunately, we got stuck on one of the big dunes for just maybe 2-3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. I'm not sure. But then on the rocky section, I actually very cautious there. But yeah, unfortunately, we had a flat tire there. I'm not sure exactly why, but yeah, these things happen. And then yeah, to the end, it was a dry. With this long section of dry riverbed. Some places were like big mud holes, and so they had quite a lot of rain here in this area. I can't believe it rained so much here in the desert. So yeah, and the last section of was like the desert race. It was long flowing stuff. So yeah, the car was unbelievable there. Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
And how are you, you've come out of a four-wheel drive background, and when we spoke to you at the airport, you were going to take things a little bit slowly and ease into the race and the car, but it sounds like today was your day. At one point you were running as high as 6 overall. It seems that you and the car have become big friends.
Yeah, I must say this car is actually very good, to be honest. It actually gives you a little bit more of a freedom to do what you want with the car. It's yes, the suspension is very good, and yeah, I must say the car is really good. I'm enjoying the car at the moment. It's just a pity in the dunes that I think the T1 Plus cars with the big tires, the 4x4s with the big tires, they've got a big advantage on us. I think they've got much more traction in the soft sand.
And how are you and Rodney getting on in the car? Chris, first time together. I mean, it's a massive thing to go to Dakar, the world's biggest motor race, with a new co-driver. How you guys, have you found each other and you bonded well in the car?
Yeah, no, I must say Rodney is very good. He's really on top of things, and today was quite fast, and it was like I said, the first part of was very rough, but although it was rough, we went like there was lots of places we were flat out. The speed of cruise on that thing, or the maximum speed is 170. So there was kilometers that we did on 170 at a time. So and then some places you get like in our SACCS races, you get like a single caution or double caution and blind rises. So you must be cautious, but must be fast as well. So yeah, Rodney was good. In the beginning, he was it was a little bit slow on the notes, and yes, I must say, the longer we going today, the better he got, and I must say that yes, he was really proper. We didn't miss any waypoints, and sometimes they make it difficult. They make it difficult to find the waypoints, but yes, he was very good with that. And I must say, with all the help in the car and with the car, everything, he knows the car quite well, and yeah, it's actually now we're coming very along together, very, very nicely.
Now that's also makes for really good racing going forward into, I mean, we've had 4 stages. We've got another 8 stages, so essentially we're a third of the way through. So now the two of you are bonding, you finding your feet, and we can expect some good speed from you guys going forward.
Yeah, I think we must just, today, like I say, we weren't overriding the car or going too fast, or yes, for me it was just a matter of try to keep the car in one piece, and every day climb the step ladder a little bit and a little bit. So the problem for me for the first day with the time trial, our seating was quite far back, and we caught the guys that was actually the 2 guys. We had minute dust gaps, and yes, to start at the back, and yes, you can't go through the dust. It's a big problem. We actually caught the 2 guys in front of us, and we passed them. But the problem is every day you must be 30th or lower, otherwise you're in between the trucks. So like yesterday we were 31st, and because we got stuck in the dune for quite a while, and yes, and unfortunately we made it to 31st, and yes, then if you between the trucks, yes, it makes life a little bit difficult. So yeah, luckily we're out that qualifications at the moment, so we need to stick it here. And so I think from now, like tomorrow, we've got a 2-minute dust gap. So I think every day we'll just try to one step at a time. That's all.
Now you're in the top 20 in 17th position, and when I look at the results, I'm so proud. And I know that the guy behind you in 18th position, Mr. Saints, in his Audi, you've got to be so proud that even at this stage of the race, you can look at the results and say, I'm beating King Carlos.
Yeah, I must say, I don't think that way, but yeah, I must say, was yesterday or the day before, yes, and I think it was yesterday, yeah, we had a nice fight with all 3 Audis at the stage where they were starting behind us, and they came past us, and we stayed for a long while with them. But like I say, when we entered the dunes, the 4x4s just got so much traction, we can't keep up with them. So yeah, and to be honest with you, it's the first time actually in my life that I actually racing in the dunes, and we did Dakar almost a couple of years back, but unfortunately we just entered the dunes, and we had unfortunate accident that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, every day we're learning, and it feels like every day we're getting faster and faster. But yesterday there was a big dune. I can't remember exactly what kilometer, but Gerland Chichurik went over that thing, and then he destroyed his car. We went over the dune, and his car was in pieces the other side. So then you start thinking, hey, yes, you must keep it cool. Still a long way to go. So yeah, we're just trying to finish each day, and from tomorrow I think we've got a good chance to finish good every day. I hope so. I hope the car lasts, and I hope that yeah, we can keep it all together.
Well, Chris Visser, I know that it's very busy over there, and you with Julian and the rest of the technical team on this with the Century guys. Thank you very much for taking some time and talk to us. Take all our best wishes and all our hopes for from the whole of South Africa. I'm sure I speak on all motorsport fans that we wish all the very best for our Southern African contingent. Drive well, Chris, en baie dankie dat jy met ons gepraat het.
No, it's just a pleasure. Ja, baie dankie Colin. Dankie vir al die mense se ondersteuning. Ek wil net vir hulle sê baie dankie. Jesus, ek waardeer dit verskriklik. Ek verlang na my Suid-Afrikaanse mense. Maar ja, baie dankie. Ek waardeer. Lekker aan vir julle, hoor.
Lekker, dankie Chris voorspoed. Unreal that with the modern technologies we can have back-to-back calls.
Unreal.
We're going to get to if there's social stuff, the reason you're here, you can just come up and go with the questions.
A hell of a lot of love for his result today.
I mean, total respect.
Unbelievable. I think everybody's got to huge respect for what he's done and wishing him all the best to keep it going for the rest of the race.
I actually think that in my mind, we're going to have a rate of the driver of the day. So what I'd like you to do, if you're sitting at home watching us, wherever you are, in America, Iceland, Greenland, Saudi Arabia, I know there's a little biker watching us, or even in South Africa, send us your votes for Southern African driver or rider of the day. And what we will do for the answer for that, the winner of general consensus, the first person to put the one that basically I choose, we'll deliver you a Raceday cap. They are scarce as rocking horse poo, and you will work it right. We go straight into our second Saudi Arabian guest, Daniel Schroeder and Ryan Bland. It is so cool that the guys can actually join us. 39th position on today's stage. Daniel and Ryan, the signal comes up and down in the PS Laser. And we had Stuart Thompson here yesterday. Stephie, we're coming to you. Don't worry about the bike.
Get to Stephie. On exactly on what Chris was saying, we can fill this gap with Johan Wild says those Audis seem like they have huge traction but very heavy and seem to be breaking suspension. Do we have any comparative weights compared to the T1s and the T1 pluses compared to the TUs?
A T1 Plus, I know, has to race at 2,000 kilograms.
That's right.
A T1U I seem to recall 2,200 kilograms, but the clever people amongst us, can you please go and tell us how much a T1U, the electrics, because the generators are heavy.
Not the generators, the consumers.
No, there's a generator that sits in the boot, hold on, guys. While we wait for Daniel Schroeder and Ryan Bland to join up with us, go straight back to Stephie Vetter and talk about the bikes. And let's go straight into our highlights of the bikes, Stephie.
You know, today was such an incredible day, Colin, because the rookie honors hotted up. It hotted up crazily. I think it's going to be a two-horse race between Mason Klein from America and our very own Bradley Cox. And I understand little birdies told me that we've got a very interesting Mr. Steven Spielberg joining us later, which will be very interesting to hear his take. Johan Barreda Bort launched a massive attack, and by 200 kilometers in that stage, he had taken full control of the chasing pack, absolutely full control. And of course, Colin, our darling Danilo Petruccio made our hearts race even faster when he flew up from 22nd to 3rd in about, 359 kilometers. And then he broke our hearts by getting a penalty. What happened with that? How can that be?
I don't know. I was watching from a place. I was busy repairing a leaking toilet. And I had my tracker open, and I looked on the bikes, and I saw just the numbers. On first position was number 90, Petrucci, from a MotoGP rider. He must have just held it wide open, and Six or Nix had some fun. It's a 20-minute or whatever minute penalties he got.
10-minute penalty.
10-minute penalty. Take that 10 minutes out, and he flies up the leaderboard. But I think he's made a mark, laid a marker down. Boom. This is what we've got. Stephie, we need the guys in Saudi Arabia we're so lucky that they get to talk to us. We've got Daniel Schroeder and Ryan Bland. We're going to come back to the bikes. Daniel, Ryan, thank you very much for your patience. I know it's been backwards and forwards and up and down. Number 267 PS Laser Nissan run by WCT. How's your race going?
Yeah, so far our race has been going according to plan. It's my first time driving the car and also Ryan's first attempt at doing the Dakar. And our main goal is to finish, and so yeah, we didn't have many big problems or something like that. So yeah, we're basically pretty happy with what we've done so far, I think.
Daniel, this is your fourth Dakar. You've done two on motorbikes, and you've done three. Sorry, it's your sixth 3 with cars and your dad. What's it like now from going co-driver, jumping over into the driver's seat?
It's really nice. I always wanted to be on the driver's seat. It's not easy to be on the passenger side, and yeah, sitting there, especially after I've done it on a motorbike where you do everything yourself. So yeah, I've always been dreaming of doing it, and this year I got the opportunity to do it. Kind of a sad story because my dad wanted to do his 10th Dakar, and yeah, while he was on holiday in South Africa, little enduro tour at the Wild Coast, he had a crash, and yeah, he tore 2 ligaments in his shoulder, so he had to have operation now, actually today. And yeah, so it was me who was next in line to fill the driver's seat. So very lucky, and a pretty sad situation for my dad.
Yeah, for sure. Our wishes are for a speedy recovery for your dad. But Ryan, first time in the Dakar, and what's been your, with all the information and the experience that comes at you, what's been the highlight for you so far?
Yeah, look, I mean, Dakar is not new to me, really. It's been a dream of mine for many, many years, but unfortunately, I never got it on the bikes. I went in 2012 and followed the Dakar through South America, and that's actually where I met Jürgen for the first time. Him and Alfie were racing, and I don't know if you remember, they had a burnout on the first day, on the first stage. So Jürgen grabbed.
It was in a Volvo, eh?
Yeah, it was a Volvo. Yeah, it was turbocharged. It was about 60 k's into the first special. So I was on a KTM 990, and there was another old guy, I can't remember his name, riding as well, but it was just too hot, tough for him. And Daniel was riding his second Dakar on the bike, and Jürgen said, "Well, he's not gonna go home." Alfie said he's going home for his birthday. He's never home for his birthday with the family, so he flew home. And Jürgen grabbed this other guy's bike, and we rode through South America together. It was so cool. And then, yeah, anyway, 2017, I entered, but I didn't qualify. Well, they didn't accept my CV. So I had to go and do some races in Greece and Morocco, the Mazuga. So I did that in April 2018. And then I was entered for 19 on the bike, and then unfortunately I had a big accident and broke my back. Yeah. So yeah, that was that for the Dakar. And then Jürgen called me up 4 months ago and said, "Let's do it." You know? So it was a lifelong dream, and it's great to be back here. It's mind-blowing, this race. It's unbelievable.
And you guys have been running some really steady, good, solid, get the thing to the end, don't damage it, sensible racing for Dakar.
Yeah, look, we've been talking a lot in the car, and the plan is to keep it clean. You know, so like today was a really sketchy stage. The first 100 k's the roadbook was, I don't know if the trucks had made a new line, because this new seeding process with the priority drivers, you know, we're doing all right, but we're having to start in 80th place every day because they're putting us behind all the seeded drivers, then all the trucks, then all the side-by-sides, top 10. So we're starting way back, and there's quite a line cut in the course. So the navigation is not that difficult actually, and you tend to follow the route. And these trucks, they just go over anything, you know. I don't know if you guys know Ernest. He had a big knock on the front left today. That was just in front of us. We were the next car to get to him, and yeah, he was just offline and he hit a massive donga and took the whole front left wheel off. I think they're still trying to make their way in tonight. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we've been following them on the tracker. They almost there, but not quite. Some of our team are watching it there. You know, those things can happen so quickly, where you go from relatively controlled and having a sensible race to boom, the proverbial has hit the fan.
Yeah, it's very easy to make mistakes. That's what we actually said today when we were in the car. We've seen quite a lot of guys crashing, especially in the beginning, and yeah, so we basically said, yeah, sometimes slower is faster. So we took it down a gear and it's safe and get to the finish. And yeah, you actually have it quite a lot that sometimes people come past you and then you see them again. So this is a race where you have to pace yourself, don't push too hard, On the other hand, don't waste time for sure. But it's a very, it's not very. It's like right on the blade's edge or whatever you call it in English. I'm sorry for not knowing the word, but it's it's a fine line that you have to find. Yeah,
and
so
you've got You've got Justin, Bob, and Chart from WCT looking after the car. It's a super competent, damn professional team that you've got. No issues with the car during the race?
No, so far the car hasn't missed a beat. The guys have been doing exceptional work. It's very, very good. The spirit is also very good. We're having good fun. We're 7 people here overall in our little team, and we've got some German friends here on the other side. They're also running the same car, so we're helping each other out, and it's really, really, really good fun and a very good team spirit. So it's not only that they do a good job. It's just like an exceptional, just an exceptional team, man. Just having really good time.
Well, Daniel and Ryan, thank you very much for talking to us. Keep it going, and everything of the very best. Daniel on keeping the car safe, Ryan on finding all those waypoints. Good luck, guys. We really do appreciate you talking to us. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers,
guys.
Hell, I love talking. What's going on here with the socials? Are there questions and things there?
We don't have any questions at this stage, but I've had some feedback on YouTube from Cass Crew 123. I'm not sure who that is.
Love the numbers.
Yep, there we go. He says the Audi's 2.2 tons. Now, what I can find, having a quick look, they're allowed to be down at the minimum of 2,000.
Well, they will claim to be even heavier to make it more difficult. Talking of Audi, yesterday I may have mentioned something along the lines of on the Twitters when I'm looking at some of the news. Audi comes up and they post their thingamajigs of how wonderful the e-tron is. It is this new car. It is fantastic. And then last night, it was absolutely, I just about fell over laughing, because have a look at this. On the left-hand side, there you go. This vehicle shown here is not the Rally Dakar vehicle, is not available as a production model. Closed course, professional driver, do not attempt. M Sport, straight back at them. Boom! For use on most roads, most drivers welcome. Please attempt. You've got to love motorsport marketing. It's fantastic. Right, Stephie Vetter, thank you for handling the interruption. As the consummate professional that you are, let's get back to our two wheels, into your realm, your love, your joy. What else happened? How's my man Bradley Cox doing?
Before we get to Bradley Cox, let's start at the beginning, Colin, because Bradley's a whole conversation on his own today, because Bradley actually smashed it out the park. Yeah. Let's go to the big guns. Let's see what happened there before we go to the results. And I've also got some really cool feedback from the guys on the ground in Saudi. And any of you out there, come on, throw in your 10 cents worth. Andrew's waiting. I know that there's some very special people in Zimbabwe that are watching. Graham, very good to have you on board. Thanks for the message. So, Colin, yeah, it was a, you've heard from the guys in the cars already. It was fast. It was furious. The navigation was tricky. We'll come back to some interviews later where some of the guys on the ground said that it was, where it was a single caution was actually a double caution. Where it was a double caution was actually a triple caution. And I'll come back to that later when we talk about a very special day for Walter de Blanche today. But Johan Beretta Bort went out and he wrung its neck. He had the position. They were coming in from the back. Interestingly enough, Skylar Howes actually said that he and Mason Klein and obviously Chucky Sanders had a great time in the beginning, but they laid the tracks for everybody else. They lost chunks of time. Apparently, not 100% sure, but Chucky ate some dirt. So he took a bit of a high side as well. So the guys coming in from the back really had, like Skylar said, lovely dark lines for them to follow, but they had a good day. He actually threw out a really cool comment to Mason Klein. He said did a lot of the opening today and did an incredibly good job. You've got to remember, this is a rookie. Mason Klein is a rookie on the Baz Dakar racing team, KTM racing team. with Bradley and also Mike Wiedemann. I must tell you that Bart van der Velden has probably got the strongest team to win Rookie of the Year right now, right as he's sitting. So then what happened? So we heard, you know, the fight was always going to be on. We just didn't know when they would show their hands. Sherco put up their hands today. Rui Gonzalez, Lorenzo, Santillino, they are a serious threat in the coming days. Let's just throw it out there. And obviously the Honda one too was brilliant news because obviously Danilo got bumped down. But where were Nicky and Nacho? They're lurking 17th, 18th, but it's a great place to launch a gunfight from. I have no doubt that the Honda 4 they're gonna come hunting, and they're gonna come hunting soon. The big question of the day, though, where were the Yamahas, Colin? Where were the Yamahas?
I don't know. I mean, they're still up there in the lead and in the top three, and so. But I think the thing was that the Yamahas did so well yesterday, and as I'm learning from my bike riding friends, if you do well the one day, you don't do so well the next day. So it's one of these seesaw things with nice, really close gaps. But the thing was that the gaps were a little bit bigger today. You know, I'm looking down sort of 10th position, 13 minutes. So yesterday, there were lovely
tight gaps. The elastic band is
gaps.
Starting to stretch. Yeah, absolutely. That elastic band is starting to stretch. 13 and a half minutes. But Yamaha came in 11, 13, and 14. So, and Adrian, Andrew, and Rossi, Adrian's obviously still holding on to his position in the overall. And I'm really happy for that. I've just got an update from Ross. He's sporting a massive roasty on his arm. So somewhere Rossi did find some dirt today. And I have to tell you what really surprised me. I'm going to come back to Ross because obviously he's my darling. I mean, I just love Rossi, and his confidence is growing day by day. KTM looked a bit thin on the ground today as well. Matthias putting up his hand in 7th. Toby 29th, Kevin Benavides 16th, with Skylar tumbling down the order into 21st as well. But that is because of the road openers. So I think on that note, let's get straight to the results.
Well, it's your show with the bikes. I love the part of the results because then we can see that's what it really counts. There's never mind. I mean, there's a race and then there's the experience. But this is race day. So let's check the results.
Absolutely. So, you know, we're so proud of Honda Joan Barreda board. He really wrung its neck today. He came in first. He also had a 1-minute penalty and still held on to that first position with his teammate Pablo Quintanilla in second. So we've got a Honda 1-2 right there. Then we have a Sherco 3-4 with Rui Gonzalez and Lorenzo Santillini. Only 7 minutes 50-ish off the pace, with Luciano Benavides putting up his hand for Husky in 8:55 behind Joan Barreda. Sam Sunderland performed well, solid as a rock on the gas, 9:15 behind him, the leader. And then Matthias Wagner, the only KTM in the top 10. Sounds so strange just saying that. Stefan Svitko on the Slovnat rally team, 12:3 behind. And Martin Mishek and Ricky Brabeck rounding out the top 10.
Position 15. And in position 15...
Sorry, Colin, I lost you there.
I said I'm looking at position 15, just behind Rossi in 14th. And I see Daniel Petrucci. 15:53 was his time with a 10-minute penalty. Take that 10 minutes off. And so, I mean, we know that motor racing is full of ifs, ands, or buts. And that puts him 5 minutes behind, which would have put him on the podium.
Third place.
Yeah,
it would have put him in third position today. And I mean, he was there for so long until this penalty broke our hearts. If anybody out there wants to shoot Andrew a message as to what the penalty was, please go for it, Graham. Is it speeding? Is it what? You know, give us the penalty. I mean,
and the reason we don't know the penalty, I just want to tell the readers, the reason we don't know the penalty is we've looked at all the official notice boards, and it's not published yet.
Yeah.
Thanks. Would you like to take the bus over me now?
Go, Stephie.
Stephie, just chatting on that point of Ross and Petrucci on his tail. We've had Philip Archinall in saying, do you think Ross is playing a waiting game this year?
I think Ross is riding within himself. I think he's riding a very smart race. look, it's tough out there. It was really fast. The navigation was quick. Just judging again what I heard from the cars, the two navs said that the instructions were coming so quickly that it was treacherous, and sometimes you've actually got to just pull back a wee bit and be smart. And I think Rossi has been very, very smart. Rossi's got everything to win this race. We know that. And you know, we've got a long race to go. We've still got plenty of days to go, and I have no doubt in my mind that Rossi is going to be up there fighting hard for that podium.
Yeah, I think you're right. He was so good last year. He's got to have another stage win.
Well, we hope. He's our man.
Yeah, he's going
the
to.
hope is, you see, I even wore my blue shirt, my Rossi shirt, especially for him today.
We've had a flurry of answers already saying that he exceeded 30 kph in the.
So on the speed limits,
it's a speeding penalty.
Yeah, different pulses. Going back to what we were saying yesterday about stewards and, you know, too many rules and all the rest of it. When you're running, and this is now a World Championship event, 1975, it started out as a couple of guys having a jaw when a bike won it overall. But it's a World Championship event, there's a whole lot of rules, and you've got to enforce the rules. And they've been dishing out fines for not wearing balaclavas and gloves and helmets properly and that sort of thing. And when they say don't speed, you know, us South Africans, we reckon we can go as fast as we can as long as we don't get caught. But if you speed on Dakar, no matter where it is, you will get caught, and there's pulses. And if you go, the most I've seen today was 160 something in 120 zone. So, you know, you speed, and sometimes you don't see the speed limit on your book, and it can be a problem. So we don't blame Rossi. Petrucci. We think it's very, very sad. He's used to just going flat out all the time. The rest of us, our South Africans, you said you wanted to talk about Bradley?
They did so well. Bradley Cox was so impressive today. Colin, 18th P overall on stage. I mean, you know, Bradley 18th, Mason 23rd. These guys are duking it out there. I can't wait to speak to Brad a wee bit later. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on the show somewhere in the week. Aaron had a bit of an iffy day, 33 minutes off the pace in 40th position, which he's tumbled out of the top 10, but it's going to happen. This is Dakar. She's a mistress. Sharon, I promise you, Sharon, that the Malamoto boys are impressing me so much. I mean, listen to these stage positions: 46, 63, 75, and 103. It's crazy that the Malamoto boys are running in those sort of positions. I'm absolutely shocked to my core, and I'm so proud of them. Walter, I'd really like to talk about Walter de Blanche, though. Walter de Blanche finished in 103 today. Now, I don't know if any of you guys know, but today was a very, very special day for Walter. Walter actually fell out of the 217 Dakar at this point, stage 4. And he had sent through some updates, and he said he had more than a few tears in his helmet when he finished today, 217 being the year that he crashed out of Dakar and then assisted and supported Joey Evans at that time. The fact that he tested his airbag again today isn't great. He did take a high side. So, yeah, he did that. But he said the road book, he damaged his road book. And as a result, he didn't have a road book. He had to do it manually. So he was following other guys, and which is really dangerous because you don't know where the cautions are. And he tapped back. Absolutely tapped back. But Walter is there to finish the Dakar. I'm so proud of him. He's through stage 4. He's on his way to the podium. I'm really, really proud of him. You know, look, it wasn't ideal conditions for him today. He's unhurt. He's fine. Kudos to the new airbag. I mean, that just, you know, he said it really helped him. So happy for him. My heart is bursting with pride for him. Absolutely bursting with pride. Paulo, 127th. We're not really sure what happened to Paulo today, so it looks like he had a hard day. But listen to this: 369. The Malamoto category, Charon, J.K. Stewart. I mean, those boys are right up there. So the law of averages say that they could get to 136. I mean, 369. You know, I'm kind of going there. And then let's talk Bradley. You know, Mason and Bradley are going to duke it out. I have to say, for the Baz Dakar KTM racing team, Bart van der Velden is doing an incredible job. He's got 3 guys in his team in the top 6 in rookie of 2021, 2, where we now, 2022.
22, huh? Yeah.
And 22, yeah, wrong year. So all in all, our guys are really, really stepping up to the plate over there. They're not letting Saudi get the better of them. And we are only day 4.
Just before we spoke to the guys in Saudi, we saw Alfie Cox in the caravan, or in the motorhome, sorry, and he looked pretty relaxed, and I know he's one very, very proud father.
I think his heart must be bursting with pride, but from here on in, I think, please, can we just call him Steven Spielberg? Because Alfie is sending the most incredible footage out of Saudi. He's interviewing and sending us so much good groundwork, interesting videos. So I love it. Keep it coming, Alfie, and well done on Brad. Really proud of him.
It's absolutely fantastic. What else do we want to talk about bikes on there? Or
we just want to run through the overall quickly?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yep, let's do it. Yeah, Sam Sunderland still holding P1. He stretched his lead a wee bit because obviously Danny Sanders fell out the way. So you've got Matthias Valkne in second, 3 minutes off the pace. Adrian van Beveren right up there still with Danny Sanders going into 4th. We've got Santolino on the Sherco, 10:25 off the leader Sam Sunderland. Again, the gunfight's coming, and those guys are going to go in all guns blazing, and I cannot wait.
I think we're a third of the way there. We've got a day's racing. They're spending 4 days in Riyadh now, so the teams will be very comfortable in the setup of the pits. And then Saturday, the rest day. Sunday is going to be that I think is going to be the highlight. That's the turning day. What do they call it when they play that game with the stick and white ball? The moving day. Sunday, I think, is big moving day.
Last year, the day after
Colin,
the
just
race
to
day was
interrupt.
dramatic.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to interrupt. We have been updated on Patrax. So he did put it out on his official Insta. He blew through a speed zone and didn't slow down. And thanks, Graham, for sending that through. So, he's a MotoGP guy. What can I say? Foot flat.
Just, flat out. Hang on that cable and hold on tight. Right.
Yep.
There's the questions, the answers, the queries. What's happening?
The debate around the Audi e-tron is off the chart.
Well, bring it to us. Let's get involved with this.
Right. So they seem to be weighing 2,200 kilos.
Yeah.
They've got a 295-litre tank compared to a 500-litre tank in the T1 Ultimates.
Yeah.
Big debate now is where are the electric motors situated and what is it doing for weight distribution compared to a normal Dakar car?
Okay, so it's got 2 Formula E motors. Developments of Formula E motors. They all, the level of science and movement it's very, very fast, the development that keeps going. So they've taken a development of a DTM motor as their generator and a development of the Formula E motor, both and it drives the front axle and the back axle. So they haven't been allowed 4 individual motors. So you've effectively got a 4-wheel drive car. The minute they start allowing individual wheel control, I think that's when the poo really, really hits the fan.
Yeah, the traction
From a weight
changes.
distribution point of view, it doesn't really matter where the motors are. The engineers on these cars are so clever. They put the weight exactly where they want it.
Yeah.
And from what I'm understanding on most of the South African built vehicles who are there, it's pretty much 50-50. Center of gravity is a bigger thing. And because they've got such huge batteries, they are the batteries are low, and they're very heavy, whereas the normal cars, the proper cars, have their spare wheels very low.
Yeah, and also, another, say, 200 liters in a fuel tank, in these cars, it's quite high. And that's, if you take that over a square volume, it's going to add, weight high up. And how much fuel do they burn over? You know, a V6 turbo is going to use a lot more than a 2-liter turbo in the...
Yeah, I'm told the T1 Pluses are today we're running very close to 500 liters. You'll never know the true story on the first Dakar with a new class.
Of course not.
It was just like that when Peugeot came in with their diesel buggy. It's going to come out in the wash. The stakes are very high. This is on a global level, the giant of Germany, and playing against the minnows from the shed at Kyalami.
Yes.
So Toyota versus Audi versus the Hunter and ProDrive Hunter, and I think we're still going to see the speed of the Hunter. I'm disappointed in its reliability.
Yeah, considering their budget as well.
Yeah.
The next one on the reliability thing is from Gerard van Wyk. Is there a cap on motor changes or gearboxes like in F1? I think he's referring to Skulk changing his engine.
And we're going to get to the South African...
We'll get to that, but that's...
The highlights of the South Africans. Yes, Skulkberger did get running today after getting in very late. And let's just talk about that.
Yeah.
He had a motor change.
Correct.
Because the Chevy LS7, it's lots of aluminium horsepowers in the back of magnificent sounds.
There we go.
I mean, there's the motor going in. And they worked on that car, basically carried on working through the night. It got to more than or less than 0 degrees. The wind was howling. It was a cock experience. But they put the motor in, they got it running, and it ran perfectly today. Now, he's a rookie, so a rookie gets a wild card. And in a wild card, you don't get any penalties. So he only took the penalties for the time penalties for getting back to
which were huge.
The Bivouac. Yeah, he's absolutely massive. So, you know, from his point of view, he's out of overall running, but I mean, he never was in it to go and win anything. He's in it to finish Dakar, and he'd been doing so well, and it was a relatively simple issue that caused the engine problem, and that was an incorrect octane of fuel was put into the car.
This is an interesting debate because, or an interesting point, because that was brought up last night, which we couldn't get to in our bumper packed show, was last year we had a lot of fuel complaints, particularly with the bikers, if you remember.
Yeah.
They were breaking engines left, right, and center with contaminated fuel, be it water in the fuel or whatever the case was. And it's interesting to hear that. So not contaminated fuel, wrong.
What's the fix from the organizers was to jack up the fuel filling stations and the supply of fuel, and to make avgas completely fully available. So you can get avgas, you can get 91, and you can get diesel and some other fruit flavors. And I'm not sure what happened, how it happened, but the incorrect octane, there was a mix of octane in the tank, and it wasn't what the engine map thought it was. And it's, I mean, stuff happens.
Yep, it does.
So he ended up getting into just before we went live, and he spent, I've got the time here somewhere, it
was
and
hours.
down. Absolute hours, and it doesn't actually matter. He's still running. But from a car's point of view, from the stage, we actually thought that Yazid Al-Raji had won it. And that was the thing with Dakar is a patient game. So you cross the line, and NASA it was super tight, and then the penalties start coming out. The speeding penalties come out. So if we now look at today's 6th position, was 3 minutes 55. That was Janelle de Villiers behind. So winner NASA from Sebi Loeb, Carlos Sainz in the e-tron. Carlos won yesterday. And then we're going to start seeing some makes. Yes, I see it in the John Cooper Works Rally. So that is the 4-wheel drive Mini. And in 8th, Jakub Przgonski in the buggy. That's clearly it's the buggy. And all the other positions are Toyotas, with Matthew Serradori coming in 9th in the Century, which was really great. Terranova, 10th in the Hunter, and then Christian Visser 14th. I mean, that's so cool for Chris. I'm really, really happy for him. Are we getting votes for driver of our day in, by the way?
We'll
go there. We're going to get to our driver of the day thing. 16th, Brian Baragwanis. They had a
consistent run this year.
Yeah. But they also got stuck and they lost a couple of minutes, and that's why they didn't come in as high as they did. 20th or 25th position of the South African. And the times I'm giving you of this stage, the results of stage 4, are just before we went on air. So they may have moved around a little bit, but you know what? It doesn't actually matter whether it's 20th or what. Shami Variawa was 27 minutes 30 behind the winner, Daniel Schroeder. We spoke to them, an hour and 2 minutes. Nani Roma in the other Hunter. I've put that in there because they're still running, but they're in 51st position. Stefan Peter Hansel barely beat Skalkberger on the stage today. So that was absolutely tight. The other news was that 441, Jeff Minott and Siegfried Rousseau, they had a tumble to. I mean, we spoke about them yesterday. They were with Stuart. They were doing so well, such a measured race, and then they had a roly-poly and the car got damaged, and so they had to actually pull out and can the whole thing. So they're not in the running on the overalls. So they've been racing for 13 hours and 26 minutes. If you're at the front, if you're at the back, you've been racing for 35 hours and 40 minutes. So there's a massive spread. Overall winner, leader of the race, not the winner, is Nasser Al-Attiyah. He's 38 minutes ahead of Sebi Loeb in the Pro Drive Hunter. So Loeb, he's the one of the hunters that's going. But he's 38 minutes behind. It's a bucket load of time. Janelle de Villiers in 4th behind Yazid Al-Raji, and both in DKR Hilux T1 Pluses. And then Lucio Alvarez in the Overdrive Hilux 1 Plus, T1 Plus. And then now the next we've got a whole lot of minis. So Vladimir Vasiliev in the BMW X5 version of the Mini is in 6th position overall. Jakub Przgonski in the Mini. Terranova buggy. So the Minis are there. Martin Prokop, I dig this Raptor. There's something about it. It looks violently cool with its lime green and red. Really, really like that car. Cyril Despres in 15th position with Tay Perry alongside her. They're 2 hours, 10 minutes behind. Then on the South Africans, I think we've gone through all of them. Henk Latergan is now 3 minutes 26. What happened to Henk, you may ask today? Well,
here we go. We've got it in.
Henk
was flying and then ran into troubles. How sad. There's many comments.
But he's a kid. He's quick. And stuff happened. So
I was going to say I was tracking him, and he's made it to a road. That'll be a proper link to the Bivouac.
And that's like a road to the. So he's out. I think he will be out of the stage now. And if you, Andrew, find out if he's out of the stage.
Fear not.
I love the fact that we've got a sick. So have a look at that map that Fritz has just put up there. Just zoom out a little bit there, please, Fritz. And he's got it. Did you have that? Do that picture. So you can this is the map that we watch on the tracking, and you can see where. So the map on the right is the aggregate of all the tracks, and the pretty picture on the left is what they put out as this is what the route of Dakar is about. So that road where it's sort of the lime green changes to reddish purple or whatever, that is at the end of the stage. So you'll find that Latergan has just come out of the stage.
He is out of the stage. He's lost 5 hours, 58 minutes, and 45 seconds.
Yeah, something happened. There was a right rear failure in the suspension. I heard the voice note from Glyn. They don't know why. He had to wait for the truck, the Foster Assistance truck, to come and fetch him. But the Foster Assistance truck was called to 2 places at one time. So it had to actually go past a crash and then come back, and it was issues and all the rest of it. So on the side-by-sides, we've still got the Can-Ams leading the side-by-sides. Is Stephie still with us? Because I know she's got radio duties to get going to. She is. She actually is. Stephie, I know your radio is calling to you, but you know, the cars are just so much fun for me, and I think we're super proud of the Centuries, like this machine that sit behind us, and the job that they're doing. And you know, you're pretty close to, you know, the Baragouanas relatively well, I would imagine. It's been an interesting rally for them, interesting race.
Absolutely. You know, Colin, if you actually lay it out and lay it down, you've got, we've talked about this over and over again. They've had the issues today and last night. I mean, that picture of Donovan with that engine, and they worked the entire night. I mean, I think that car was really 20 minutes before they were out there. You've got Skulk, who had, and he's a master magician. I mean, he's, you know, we call Julian the Mauritian magician. Donovan is an incredible, just a technician. I mean, the computer programs and the data, and he's such a humble guy as well. And you've got these guys stuck out on stage. They weren't really worried about Skulk. Brian actually sent a message to say, look, they're going to be coming in the dark, but there's only a couple of riverbeds and it's not that difficult. But Henry and Ernest, come on guys, you can do this, because it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be dark. It's rocky. It's just going to be really tough. And I just hope that they pull through and they can get some really good sleep, and then just fight again tomorrow, you know. Same as Brian. The only thing we've got to do with Brian is we've got to stop him getting speeding fines.
No, I mean, look, this thing is, the sound is unbelievable. That's, I mean, just an indication of how quick this is. I know Fritz is a magician and he does things all very lacquer. Fritz is fantastic. But yeah, so Steph, the whole team they worked super, super hard the night before and they worked last night. And now they're going to work again tonight. Because Ernst and Henry, they took the front left corner off on to break this thing, you've got to hit something with massive energy. Right, so there you go, see where I tell you what, we've got magicians and gnomes, and all we need is a midget, and we'll have the finest team in the history of the world on Dakar, but we only have midgets for little problem. Right, going back to the socials, what are people saying to us, Andrew Horndog?
A slightly controversial comment from Greg Sharman. Have Toyota had any more overboosts?
Greg, no. And no doubt, not today at least, that we know of. And no doubt many people will have more overboosts. When you're running on the fine line, on the blade edge.
The limit of performance.
Absolutely. When you're pushing the envelope, sometimes you push a little bit too much. And sometimes you get some noisy electronics. It was one spike of 30 millibars. So it's technical. Don't worry about it, man. It's not going to make that much performance. And you know, the way that people just latch onto stuff and make mountains out of an anthill. It's just...
Moving on, while we've still got Stephie.
Yes.
Rider of the day, because we put out who's the driver of the day, but we've got rider and driver of the day.
I mean, is there a debate for rider of the day, Stephie?
Absolutely, because
really
I'm going to be absolutely not saying what you're saying. Obviously, I love Daniel Petrucci. My rider of the day is Brad Cox. I think he did an exceptional job today.
He is, I think, the winner, but a lot of votes coming in for Daniel Petrucci, and you're not going to like me saying it, but I was willing him on there. I thought that was really cool.
Okay, so there's only one way.
I distance people for less, Andrew.
Okay, there's only one way to do it. Rock, paper, scissors. Best out of three wins it. Come. 1, 2, 3. Right. So who's who? 1, 2. So the winner of the rock, paper, scissors is Daniel Petrucci, is our race, Johannesburg. and Pretoria Raceday studio. So the coastal ones goes with Bradley Cox. Am I right?
I think Brad Cox does take
but
it on our,
because
on our
Brad
view.
Cox is a South African, we'll take him. So we voted him. So whoever voted for Bradley Cox as the South African driver of the day, we'll give it to them. Rider of the day, sorry.
Rider.
And the one with 4 wheels. So get hold of that name, and they can have a race day cap, but they've got to wear it forwards, because bikers normally don't wear it forwards. So race day caps are only worn forwards. And for the first answer for Chris Visser as South
Chris
African,
Visser, there was quite a few votes for Henk, actually. I think that was the heartbreak factor.
Yeah, but you've got to get to the end of a stage to become a... Yeah, but...
I think they're voting for him because he toughed it out for 6 hours in the desert.
Yeah, so we've touched on the stewards. Oh, what we haven't touched on, and this was quite a controversial one with the semantics. We had to go back and look at it from a slow motion point of view. But I asked the question yesterday, what car and in what year was the very first winner at Dakar? We have an answer.
Our answer was...
This is the not the very first Dakar.
The very first Dakar. The year was 1979. The car was a Range Rover. And the bonus point was...
For the bonus point, let's see, put that picture up there.
Oh, we've had this.
Because this is the one for the bonus point. So whoever got this one right, it was Christophe Nouveau and Jules Gardinal. Excuse my French.
Nailed it.
They actually won the prologue on the 26th of December. So that was why I said was the very first winner at Dakar. But we'll give you the very first winner of the race in cars was a Dakar, and for an extra bonus point, you would have said that the race was won by a Yamaha overall.
Yes, and we did get a lot of Yamaha XT500 answers.
I tell you what a beauty, but it's not a car.
No.
But it's almost, I lusted after one of those when I was
They were
a kid.
quite sexy.
Right, so we've given away a cap to somebody else. We're going on tomorrow, which is a loop around Riyadh, because you'll recall that we said that the guys were staying in Riyadh for 4 days, which is actually totally cool. Stephie, what are you expecting for tomorrow?
I am going to throw it out there, but I think we are probably going to have some punches. There's dirt tracks that are littered with rocks and stones. And then from what I can gather, the guys are going to have to really hang in there. There's some seriously long sections of dunes, 80 k's plus. So they're going to feel it in their upper body. The bikes go east. I think substantial gaps are going to form. They've got those long dunes at the end, and the guys are tired. Even Stuart said today he's not sleeping well. His body's good, but he's tired. So I think tomorrow is they're going to definitely start feeling it. You know, we're a couple of days after Raceday. Yeah, apparently there's nothing on the route, 0% of everything. But obviously they won't let that information out just yet. But I think it's going to be a tough one, and I think it's going to test them to the limit again. I think David Castor has been very, very smart with this route.
Now, there's still 2 days, because today's apparently still Wednesday. We know, and so there's 2 days of hard racing before you get to rest day. And that level of, we know that Dakar is driven by fatigue. And you've got to get the guys, well, the organizers, they believe you need to fatigue people to find their true mettle. But the other very interesting point for tomorrow is that you're splitting the bikes and the cars. And I think it's a very nice, from a safety point of view, so that the cars you don't get mixed up with bikes, and from a safety point of view. The other thing is, it's going to make opening the road tomorrow very, very interesting for the cars, because there's going to be no tracks, as it will be completely virgin territory. So NASA, Sebi, Saints, the guy who's sitting in the catbird seat here is Janil. But I've got a sneaky suspicion that NASA's going to try and have another go at it, even though he doesn't have to. You know, from a chess game point of view, we know that the bikers are playing this game. Sebi Loeb has got to not make mistakes, not damage the car. He's 38 minutes behind NASA, but the other thing is he's 11 minutes ahead of Yazid. So no matter what happens, if Sebi's looking at the front and the back, he's caught between a Toyota Sami, and he can't afford to damage that Hunter. So he's going to be not racing as Sebi. They'll get Henk's car sorted out again and unleash them and let the young man fly. And I don't mind that he's breaking the car personally, because he's putting max pressure on the Audis and the Hunters, because it's a big marketing thing. So I don't know for sure, and I might be wrong, unless I'm very much mistaken. I would have expected Glenn to say, "Fly free, young man, and be yourself," which in Henk language is gooi milies.
I think, Henk, in the last couple of seasons in the cross-country championship, has really sort of matured as a driver.
He doesn't crash here.
No. He's on the world stage on a much larger scale for the first time.
Second time,
sorry. Let the boy learn.
Yeah.
You don't learn without doing it. So,
take off the leashes and
exactly.
So that's it. He's got to the tar road, and he's now got so now he can drive. So the racing's finished, and he can go. Thank you very much, Fritzy. So from overall, once you look at the ProDrive and the Toyotas at the front, I'm just looking at minis, and I don't like that. I mean, there's just many. So with a Ford in a top 10. Anyway, it's going to be hell of interesting. So we shall see what happens tomorrow. Stephie Vetter on the southern tip of this continent of ours, close to the whales, the sharks, and the vineyards. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, it's fascinating. I learned so much from you, Stephie, and if you're watching this, go to the Southern Africa Dakar group. Check out their stuff for minute-by-minute blows of timing and news and up-to-date stuff. And then Stephie, so she works a little bit in the mornings, and then she comes and joins us for analysis. It's absolutely fantastic. Stephie?
So cheeky. And also to all our supporters out there, don't forget we've got our Telegram group where we live tracking your Hondas religiously every day for hours and hours, 12, 13 hours a day. Fantastic to be with you guys again. Can't wait for tomorrow night. It's going to be a cracker of a day. Let's do this thing.
It's going to be lovely.
Thanks, Stephie.
Andrew, last word from our viewers. I know there's 1,345,000 of them.
I think we've covered everything we can cover with the time we have left. So
be patient and be lekker is the motto of Dakar. Andrew, thank you so much for coming in. It's great to see you.
Likewise, Colin.
And in this wonderful emporium of Vatswaye, of classic vehicles, of magnificence, of petrol, it just gets the heart throbbing. To Henk and Fritz and Peter and to our midget, thank you very much for all your hard work and for you and for watching. It's been magnificent. Remember, we're back tomorrow, and have fun, be nice, and hug a midget. Cheers.